Oh, try not to flip it all over your kitchen. My dog's over here licking my cabinets, y'all. I don't know what's happening. TimetoShrink. Welcome to another meal prep, y'all. Today we're going to do a few old favorites, but a lot of new things. So let me show you what we have on the docket, and then let's just jump into it. All right, y'all, we have lots and lots of fresh veggies here today. It is summertime, and I just was feeling doing some fresh things. So we're going to do a lot of pickling. We're going to make some sauces. So let's just start over here real quick. We're gonna make a shrimp ceviche recipe that is kind of like a shrimp salad slash shrimp ceviche. I have never made this before and I'm super excited about it. So we've got lots of fresh produce for that. We are gonna pickle some cabbage because I have this head of cabbage that I need to use. It's a small one, but we're gonna pickle this. That'll be great for salad toppers or to go on tacos or all kinds of things. We are out of our roasted garlic, so since I have to throw some bacon in the oven, I'm gonna throw some garlic in. I also am gonna do some pickled sweet peppers. I think this would make great toppings for lots of things as well. We have a lot of jalapenos, so I'm gonna make cilantro jalapeno lime crema sauce. So that'll have some sour cream and some apple cider vinegar and some jalapenos. I have like an Italian salad that I make that has lots of cold cuts in it, and instead of making it as a regular salad, we're gonna make it into like a coleslaw. So that's what's going on over here. I'm gonna candy some jalapenos. I don't have enough to do a full recipe, but we have a lot of jalapenos left. So instead of just doing the typical pickled, we are gonna candy some jalapenos, y'all. So let's get started. First things first though, we're gonna get our bacon. I am going to kind of do a sweet and spicy bacon. We've been really into this lately. So what I did was take brown sugar alternative. This is Super and Gold. I've got some campfire smoky sea salt, and I've got some pepper habanero. I put all of that together in this bowl, and I'm just gonna put it on my bacon. This is just like a plain smoked bacon that's from my local store, so it doesn't have any extra ingredients going on with it. So we are just going to coat both sides with this, and then I'm gonna throw this bacon into a cold 400-degree oven, and I'm also gonna throw in my garlic because I love to have roasted garlic to use, and I'm out. So we're just gonna heat up the oven just long enough to do these things and then turn it off. It's summer, I don't like to use the oven a lot, but we are going to use it for these two things. So for our garlic, y'all, I just sliced the top off of a whole, whatever this is called, the big bulb thing. I sliced the top off, and then I take some olive oil and liberally drizzle olive oil all over these babies. Liberally. And then I'm just gonna seal them up. Here we go. And I'm just gonna pop them in the same oven with my bacon. Just gonna throw them in there. They're all sealed up. All right, y'all, technically when you make ceviche, you use raw shrimp, but I'm just a little nervous about it. I've never made it myself, so I'm gonna cook my shrimp first. I always use wild caught shrimp, so this is wild Gulf shrimp. I'm gonna cook it with a little bit of fresh bay. It's just like Old Bay seasoning, but kicked up a notch and way better from Fresh Jack. So I'm gonna cook it with this and some water just till it's barely cooked. So I've just barely covered my shrimp with water, and I've already done 3 or 4 handfuls, but you want to really salt it like it's salt water. And then I'm using the Fresh Bay seasoning. We're just gonna let this gently poach, and then we'll let it cool on ice. So we're just gonna take our shrimp. It literally takes about 2 minutes, y'all. These are little tiny guys, and I'm just putting them into ice water so they stop cooking. Just gonna get them all in here, let them stop cooking, and then we'll throw together the rest of the stuff that goes with the shrimp salad. It's okay if they're not 100% cooked all the way through. I do not want them to get rubbery, so I am going to stop it right here. We're going to use a lot of citrus that will continue the cooking. All right, I'm going to start building this ceviche. So I've got some chopped up tomatoes. It called for 4 plum tomatoes without seeds. I just had these little guys, so I just cut them up, seeds and all. I'm taking 1 whole avocado and putting it in. I've already cut it up into bite-sized pieces. So we're gonna throw that guy in there. I will link this recipe down below, but this is a little bit of orange juice, a little bit of lemon juice, and a little bit of lemon, lime, and orange. So I'm not gonna put that in yet, but I already have that made. I cut up a jicama into tiny little pieces, y'all. If you can't find a jicama, it says you could use diced apples, but jicama is low carb, diced apples are not low carb. This is not gonna be crazy low carb, it will be low carb, but you know, all of these things have, it's when you're dealing with fresh fruit, you're going to, which is what all of this is, you're going to have some carbs, right? So we've got some cilantro. I've already chopped this up really, really finely. It said half a cup. I'm just gonna throw some of that in. It really finely diced jalapeno, no seeds. You can skip the jalapeno if you don't like it spicy. The reason I'm making this first is you really want it to have time to sit for the flavors to meld. So if we're gonna eat this a little later today, I wanted to get this made first. So we've got that in there. We're gonna put some, let's see, it just says some salt, a little bit of salt, and some fresh cracked pepper. I'm just gonna kind of rough chop this shrimp. They're pretty small. I did small shrimp, so I probably don't even have to do this, but I'm just gonna rough chop it and get my shrimp in. It said 1 pound of cooked shrimp. I don't even know how much shrimp this is. I should have looked at the package, but it'll be fine. I don't always follow recipes exactly, y'all, but if it's something new that I want to try, I try to follow it the best that I can. Okay, so we've got our shrimp in there. We're gonna dump all of our juices in here, and we're just gonna get this all tossed around. It smells so good. This is gonna be so yum, y'all. All right, I almost forgot some red onions. I'm gonna do about 1/4 cup of diced red onions in here, y'all. And that is it. Just give it a really big stir, put it in an airtight container in the fridge, and let it sit for an hour or so before you serve it. I'm gonna let this be like an afternoon snack for the family. Yeah, it says shrimp ceviche is best enjoyed the day that it's made. I was wondering if it said on there how long to let it sit. It doesn't, but I would think at least half an hour to let everything kind of meld together. I'm gonna put this in an airtight container in the fridge, and then we can snack on it in just a little bit. Moving on. All right, y'all, I'm going to start on the Italian hoagie salad. So I always like to make my dressing first. So I've got, I think we're gonna do 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. So this is 1/4 cup times 2 here. And I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. You could do apple cider vinegar here. For this salad, I really like the red wine vinegar, so if you have it, recommend it. So we've got that going on. We're gonna take some salt, some pepper, and some Italian seasoning. So this is just Italian seasoning from Fresh Jack's, any kind of Italian seasoning. I use about a tablespoon worth because it's a pretty big salad we're building. And then salt and pepper. I don't need a ton of salt because all of my Italian meats have a good bit of salt. So salt, pepper. We like a good bit of pepper. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this stirred together and taste it. But basically I'm taking like the idea of a sub sandwich, right? So they use the oregano, the Italian seasoning, the olive oil, then they throw mayonnaise on there. So I am actually kind of replicating that. They even actually put some red vinegar on it. So we're kind of replicating that here in a coleslaw. So we've got our dressing. Oh, that tastes just like sub dressing. Like all the stuff on the sub sandwich. I'm not gonna use any sweetener because I like it more on the vinegary side. You also could add some mustard to this if you wanted to, but I'm not going to today. So I'm gonna build this. Sometimes I do it as a salad and I use like iceberg lettuce, but I'm gonna do it with coleslaw today. So this is just your standard coleslaw mix, whatever one you wanna get. And I'm gonna set that to the side. Take any kind of Italian lunch meats and we're just gonna kind of chop them. You can chop them in bite-sized pieces. You could chop them like in little links like this. However you want to put it in your salad. This is more of a method than a recipe. but I will put down below exactly how I made the dressing so that you can replicate that. And then as far as the rest of this, it's just whatever lunch meats you happen to have on hand, or if you're buying it, whatever you want to buy. So passata is great in this. Any kind of spicy salamis are great if you like spicy. We are actually also going to put some yellow banana peppers in this. I think I have some. You also could do any kind of pickled vegetables that you wanted to put in this. So I'm just kind of cutting my meats into long slices like that instead of bite size. I have some small pepperonis, so I'm just gonna cut these like in half basically. It's just doing a rough chop. So we have all that, and then provolone cheese. If you get it from the deli and it's in slices, just cut it up. If you get a block of it, you could cut it into squares, however you want to do it, y'all. I'm just kind of doing everything in long lengths today. So now we're going to take our coleslaw. I've got some really thinly sliced red onion. I'm going to put that in there. Just gonna break it up. So I'm just throwing everything in here, y'all. I'm just using my fingers and kind of breaking it up. Get whatever veggies you want in here. You could do some sliced tomato in here if you wanted. I think I'm gonna leave the tomato out because not everybody in my family likes the tomato.
Rolling in 3, 2.
Okay, y'all, I decided for all the meat I had, I'm gonna double it. So 2 packages of coleslaw, so I doubled my dressing. I'm not sure if we'll use all of this, but it's the same dressing, except I added about 2 tablespoons of this mild banana pepper juice, and we're gonna put some of the banana peppers in our salad. So, I need a new big salad bowl, y'all. I used to love this one, but it's breaking on me. But we're gonna build our salad in here. So, tossing. I'm gonna throw some banana peppers in there. Oops. And some juice, apparently.
Apparently the entire thing of juice.
It's all right. All right, y'all, I'm just putting about half of the dressing in and I'm gonna toss it. This dressing is so good. Oh my gosh, so good. So, I'm just gonna toss this, y'all. You probably don't need to watch me do this, but we're just gonna toss, 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 and taste. And then, like I always say, you always wanna put any kind of cold salad in the fridge for an hour or so, taste it, and then adjust from there. So I'm gonna save what I don't use of this. And it could be thinned out with olive oil even and made as just like a plain salad dressing to put on top of salads during the week. Or it could be a dip or a spread for people to put on sandwiches during the week. So it's never a bad thing to have extra of. And right now I'm trying to decide if I want to toss this with the second bag of coleslaw, or I think we're just going to leave it with one and make it be a meat heavy salad. That's never a bad thing, is it? A meat heavy salad. I decided to make another recipe because I only used half that coleslaw dressing and I had one more thing of coleslaw. So what we're gonna do is just change our dressing up a little bit. I'm gonna do about 2 tablespoons of sugar. This is a sugar substitute, it's monk fruit. I did a squeeze of 1 whole lemon in here. And then I also added a little bit of this peppered habanero because Jason likes things spicy. So we're gonna get this all stirred up. Preferably use like a powdered sweetener so that it melts in faster so you don't have any of the grainy sugar, you know, but I grabbed what was already out. All right, let me taste this. That's great. All right, y'all, come in here and let me show you what is going into this. So we have some sliced sweet peppers, some serrano peppers, some tomatoes that were left, some mozzarella cheese balls, and what was left of the pepperoni, and underneath that is all of the coleslaw mix. So I'm just gonna get this in. It's still an Italian-based salad, but I totally changed up the flavor of the dressing for this one. These will be great lunches or sides or snacks. Jason loves to have anything coleslaw-based to eat on as lunches and snacks. So we're just gonna toss this just like, try not to flip it all over your kitchen. We're gonna toss this just like the next one and put it in the fridge and move on. This wasn't on the plan, but I had ingredients I needed to use up and this came together super fast. Actually, I just remembered I have some basil leaves, so I'm gonna throw some fresh basil in this as well, y'all. But otherwise, this is done. All right, y'all, the next thing we're gonna make is our cilantro jalapeno lime crema, basically. So I cut up 2 big jalapenos. I've got 1 clove of roasted garlic and what I have left of the cilantro, which is quite a bit, but it's all fine grated. And I make this right here, right in the pot. So depending on how spicy the jalapenos are, the recipe changes a little bit based on how spicy they are and how much we need to cool it off. But I usually start with about half a cup of sour cream. And then I do probably about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil in there. Sometimes I put a little bit of mayonnaise, it just depends. Some salt and some pepper. This becomes a really good dressing or dip to put over tacos or anything really. It can be thinned down to dress a salad with, or it can be a topping. I usually put it in a squirty container and then people can just drizzle it on top of things. All right, so here we go. Y'all, I am adding the juice of 1 lime in here, and then I'm gonna scrape the sides down and taste, and then we'll go from there on what we're gonna put in. All right, y'all, the taste is on point, but it's not super spicy, so I'm adding a whole nother jalapeno. If you had the time, you could roast your jalapenos before you made this and not use them raw, but I think it tastes really good with the raw jalapenos too, and it's just a super quick, few second recipe. All right, y'all, I like to take this cilantro lime crema sauce and put it in these bottles. So there we go, we're about full. And you want it thin enough that you can squeeze it out of this bottle. And then if you wanted to make it into like a salad dressing, you could just squeeze it out of this and add some more avocado oil. But we tend to just put it on top of all kinds of things straight from this. So just store it in the fridge. It lasts for a good week or so, but it really doesn't last that long in our house usually. This is so good and so tasty, y'all. And like I said, your spice level depends on what your family likes, and every jalapeno has a different spice level. So sometimes I use 2, sometimes we use 4. It just depends. And if you use more jalapeno, you can thin it out more with some more avocado oil and some more sour cream, some more lime, to just kind of play with the taste. All right, y'all, I've got almost everything off my list. Now we're gonna make some pickled sweet peppers, some pickled red cabbage, and some pickled jalapenos. So I just spent a bunch of time just chopping, slicing, thinly slicing peppers and shallots and garlic. So let's go over to the stovetop and make some pickled sweet peppers. All right, y'all, I was just looking at the recipe, and you're supposed to put half a cup of water in there. So adding half a cup of water. So your peppers and shallots were supposed to go in the jar, not in this. So as soon as I realized it, I took them off. This was just supposed to be your vinegars and your pepper. What threw me off was it said peppers, but it was the crushed red peppers that were supposed to go in here. So I took them off, I guess so you didn't cook your pickled peppers, but luckily I realized it before I got it up to boiling. So when you're using real sugar, you would need to get this up to a boil, but the Lakanto monk fruit melts pretty quickly. So as soon as it melted, I pulled it back off the heat, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna top, let's see if I can do this, y'all. This is gonna be a mess. You're gonna top your peppers with this just until they're covered. So now that they're all covered, we're gonna put a top on this, and this will sit in the refrigerator for a couple days, and then they'll be ready to eat. So the next thing we're gonna do is pickle some red cabbage. So this is 1 small head of cabbage in our jar here, and we are going to do 2 serrano peppers. I did about 1/4 cup of sweetener and 1 garlic clove. This is 2 cups of rice wine vinegar. You're supposed to use some ginger root, but I don't have any. But I do have some ginger simple syrup, so I'm just gonna pour a little bit of ginger simple syrup in there. We are going to put a tablespoon of salt. So there is half a tablespoon of salt. I don't have mustard seed, y'all, so we're just gonna go in with half a tablespoon of ground mustard. We're gonna turn this on high. And like I said earlier, the monk fruit sweetener dissolves pretty quickly. So what I'm gonna do is just bring this up to a boil, and as soon as it boils, we're gonna let it cool for just a little bit, and then we're gonna pour it over our cabbage. And again, the longer it sits, the better. So it says to use it within 2 weeks, but ours doesn't usually last that long. Again, I'll put a recipe down below. I did not follow it exactly. This recipe did call for half a jalapeno sliced and seeded. I used a serrano pepper because I had some that I wanted to use up. We are just about rounding up here on meal prep. If y'all enjoy these, I would love for you to let me know. I would love for you to give me a like. If you're new to us, I would love for you to subscribe and hang out and join our little corner of YouTube, join the tribe here. Also, I wanted to let y'all know that we have a new series on Friday nights. Every single Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we are doing a cocktail episode. We're going to be doing it indefinitely every Friday night, and we would love to have you join us for that. We have a lot of fun, and I have come up with some really good low-carb cocktails, y'all. Really good. They rival any full sugar cocktail, I promise you that. So anyways, this is what we did today. We made our roasted garlic. We did all of our different salads. I've already sent my mom home with a ton of the salads, but this is what's left of it. This is what's left of our bacon. We pickled these 3 different things, and y'all, pickling is so easy. Basically, it's just whatever vinegar you want to choose. Add some sweetener, add about a tablespoon of salt per 1 jar of this. And then you can mess with the flavorings however much you want. It's really that simple. Super easy, and it's a good way to use up extra vegetables. If you have vegetables that are getting ready to go bad, or you bought too many, or your garden is really full, pickling is a really great thing because these will last like a month in your refrigerator. Or you could even can them if you found a recipe and keep them even longer if you had a ton. But these are just great things to add on top of salads or sandwiches or any kind of meal. It's just an extra little touch. So we love pickling things. And then we've got our cilantro, lime, jalapeno crema that we like to squirt all over everything. So that's what we made this week. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us, and I hope you will come back next Sunday for the next meal prep. Bye, y'all. Be blessed.